Okay, this is Guy Eagle with Renewable Wisdom Trails Library, Cosmology. And again, we're looking for the renewable wisdom, and we're starting a part one of talking about crossing over. And just for those who are new to us, remember, one of the things we're looking for is relatedness. We're always looking for that key in all the stuff that we are studying. So, crossing over from one form into another, which most people identify in the English word called death. But if you really expand that definition, it's like a death of the body and the change into another body. The spirit doesn't die, the spirit moves on. But there's a process that the spirit has to go through to let go of the body. Basically, that process is about gathering all the information that is recorded, imprinted in the body, gather it up, and go through a sorting process of what can be released and go with the body back to the earth as a whole, a collective consciousness, so we can feed into the evolution of the earth. And then what needs to be taken with the spirit into the next form, because the experience isn't finished. And we cover that a little bit in the 19 and 9 principle in another video. But basically, the spirit has to finish that experience of what it had. That's its contract of being incarnated. And we'll touch on that in a couple parts down the road here. But basically, the spirit has to gather all this information, pull it together, sort out what to keep and what not to, and then it can let go of the body and go to the next stage of the process, which is about transitioning from one form into another. Now, this sounds like it's a pretty fast experience, but for some, it can take generations. It can take minutes. It can take days. It can take years. There are a lot of different traditions put different timelines on that. But I have found in my own experience of providing services for this process is it really varies. It really depends on the kind of life the person has led. And if they have been finishing their experiences along the way, it's much easier and much graceful to go through the process. But if they let things accumulate, whether it be in possessions, whether it be in issues, whether it be in changes they could have made, then it can be a long process. And it doesn't mean they're in a coma during the process. It means there's a signal point where the priorities start being scrutinized, their values start being scrutinized, and it sets off this deeper process that's going on. So we're probably 5-6 minutes long on this. No, I guess got a signal that I got a little longer to go here. But basically, what I'm trying to do in this part one is tell you the stages of the process. There's the signal point, the starting point, there's the gathering of stuff, there's the sorting of stuff, there's a transition of letting go of the physical body and the spirit moving on. There's a process of the spirit choosing a new body, a new location to be incarnated into, a new set of parents that will carry some of the imprinting that's similar to what they need to complete. And then there's the incarnation process itself, which most people know as pregnancy or gestation is another word that's used for that. And the process of being born into that new set of parents, that new location, and with a kind of a clean slate, except for the lessons that were carried over from the previous incarnation. That's generally the processes that has to be done in what is called crossing over. So with that, we'll end this video with, you never know, maybe something to it, and we hope to see you in part 2.